Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 8th. We're back in Phoenix going live. Today we're going to kind of talk a little bit of market conditions, interest rates, current happenings around town, hopefully give you a little bit of good news as well. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's bring our good friend and partner, Rudy with Prime Lending in here. Good morning, Rudy.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm just same old, just trying to survive all this craziness going on.
In the weeds as always. We need to get Rudy a green screen background and just put like weeds everywhere. I think that would be that would be fitting.
In the background, yeah.
But obviously happy that you're taking a little time out of your craziness and joining us as always. So we appreciate it. I wanted to start today. First off, I kind of will lead with some good news because we've had some fun things happening. First off, I want to say congratulations to Chip with Arizona Insider. If you guys have been watching the channel, he and I have been doing a few videos together, and we're planning on continuing to do that. He's been an awesome partner to have in this venture as well. Him and his beautiful bride, Danny, were supposed to get married back in March before COVID hit. They had a big wedding plan, and they finally were able to get married last Friday. So we want to say congratulations to Chip and Danny. And I know they had a good time, and I think they're up north enjoying some time now. But if you guys watch this later, congrats.
Congrats, Chip and Danny.
Yeah, no. So if you guys watch this and you want to go on to Arizona Insider, say congrats. Maybe leave them a comment on that as well. And then secondly, I got an email this morning, Rudy, that I wanted to share because this is fun. I want to say, a huge thank you to everybody who has contributed to watching, commenting, reaching out to us to the channel. I want to bring something up here that's kind of fun to show because we get an email every month from YouTube to kind of show. So this is starting in June, where we were at, and we had 20 subscribers. I think I started doing videos in like May, and we had like 20 subscribers as of June 16th. On July 13th, it went to 40, and then in August, we went to 87. We hit our 100 mark on September 8th, and then I just got this email this morning. We're now, and I think we're at like 189 on subscribers, over 4,000 views in the last month. And it's really awesome to see the growth, and everybody who's reaching out, commenting, asking questions. We appreciate it greatly. It's number one, it's cool to get to know you guys. Number two, it's obviously helpful for us in the channel, and that's why we're here, is to try to help more and more people. So just a huge thank you to everybody out there. Chip, if you want to chime in on it, I know you feel the same way I do.
Yeah, huge congrats to you for having the vision and for getting this started, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it as well. It's awesome to see those numbers and to have a chance to have met some really cool people that we've had a chance to help, and I'm just looking forward to helping out more folks. And you and I are having a great time with it, and again, just having met some of these folks that we've helped out have really made it all worthwhile, and some of these folks that we would have never had a chance to meet had it not been for this channel. So congrats to you for taking a chance on it and for getting it started.
Wow, and I probably should mention that I think a lot of that growth might have been when Rudy and I started doing these videos. So, and I get a lot of comments that say we want more Rudy. So it might be that Rudy just is actually the reason for the growth. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. So thank you, Rudy.
Well, the cat's out of the bag. That's actually been me with different accounts that have been making those comments. So I'll continue that to get that.
Rudy is like 170 of the subscribers, different email accounts. Well, thank you, Rudy. Thanks for.
I do what I can.
We appreciate it, and so again, like we're here to answer any questions for you guys, especially these live shows. So continue reaching out, continue commenting on whether it's any of the videos we put out. If you have any comments, questions, if you're looking for different content, other places that you might want to need information for, that's what we're here for. So continue to reach out, and then we'll hopefully continue to provide updates and new information. I guess one thing is interesting because everything is we're talking about market updates all the time, and everybody's like, hey, how's it going, what's going on? I think everybody knows, and it's hot around the country. I think all the real estate markets tend to be a seller's market as of right now, just with how this year has gone. And we continue to be that way as well. And then I don't know if you saw this, Rudy, we had our largest recorded residential sale I think a week or two ago up in Silverleaf. I'll bring that up here as well to share. Did you see that?
I saw it. That's impressive.
24.1 mil. This was 17 acres up in Silverleaf, 15,000 square foot home, 8-bed, 10-bath. I think built in like 2006 or 7, maybe 8. But amazing home. Now, I should mention they got a pretty good deal because it was listed at $32 million, and they were able to work it down to 24. So good for them on the buy side.
Yeah, they got a bargain for it. That's huge. Congrats. And what I'm more interested in now that you said when it was built is I wonder what the sellers bought it for back in those times. Well, actually, it was before all the craziness happened. So maybe they made some money on that.
Hard to say. Yeah, I'm sure. And like you can go back in the tax records a little bit and kind of see like what people did to a certain extent. But a lot of these custom construction builds, you're never going to find out what they actually spent on the build.
True.
It would be interesting because I don't think it traded in between there. Now, the good news is there is another house. If anybody missed that one, there is another house available that's for $27 million. So if you're interested in that one, we'll get you some details. Rudy,
Yeah,
I thought you had mentioned that you might be into that one.
I think I'll look into it. I hope I can get a bargain and drop it by a few $1 million. And if that's the case, then yeah, we need to talk. I'll start doing my own loan on that one.
All right, we'll start working on it. If you can, maybe allow me to have like a bedroom or two on the side of that house, and I'll move in, and we'll just shoot videos together.
I'll give you 5,000 of the 15,000 square feet just because I like you.
Dude, that's huge.
Because you're my guy.
That's huge. All right. I might sublease it out. Cindy, good morning to you. How are you?
Cindy, good morning.
So the market's still hot. Things are still trading like crazy. Prices obviously with all this stuff tend to keep going up. So I think and Rudy, you wanted to touch on this a little bit as well. Like and I'm having the same question. Is like, how long does this continue? Because with the lack of inventory, with people coming in, everybody kind of thinks back to 2008 and was like, okay, well, this feels like the same situation we were in before where everything started increasing quite a bit. When's this going to come crashing down? And it's a legitimate question, and I ask myself that same question all the time. I definitely think about the huge differences, and there are a lot of differences. I'll let you touch on a few as well, but we are in a completely different market than we were back in 2008. And the differences are staggering. But, what are your thoughts on the differences?
I think it's a fair question and one that if you live through those times, you can't help but just think back and wonder if we're getting ready to live through it again. And yep. There's some key fundamental differences, however, on the mortgage side. And, one is back in those days, just about anybody could get a loan. And it wasn't just get a loan, but get a loan for a price and an amount that you probably would not be qualified to get. And so it was just a lot of mismanagement on the mortgage side. And I think everyone can point the blame on a lot of different folks, but really at the end of the day, it was just a lot of people getting into houses and the mortgages that maybe they should not have. And that was really the start, the beginning of the end when it came down to the crash and the prices just starting to plummet. And now prices are increasing due to legitimate demand, and it's not just demand locally anymore, but it's demand across the country to move here. And then obviously with the interest rates being where they are, this is a true demand for housing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the upcoming months and really into 2021. And what I mean by that is a lot of folks that are currently in forbearance or in deferment with their mortgages, what's going to happen when those are over and they're going to start making payments again? What type of effect is that going to have on the market? A lot of folks that are maybe currently renting that are not paying the rent because they can forego those rent payments until December 31st. What's going to happen on January the 1st? A lot of things that are up in the air. What's going to happen with the election as well. So a lot of outside influences that could potentially impact our market that we just don't know until that happens.
Well, we keep seeing like random stats coming out regarding like, what the rental market's like, how many people are not paying their mortgage and are in forbearance, and how many people are not paying rent. Like, especially when it comes to paying rent, I'm hearing mostly positive information, and people like who are in property management, like people are paying. Like, it's not. I don't hear that as a huge issue, so I'm feeling good about that. I've seen like small percentages of numbers of people in forbearance, but I don't know how localized that is, or if that's just like a national scale. So those are things that are interesting to me as well. Obviously, when it comes to the market in general, and how many companies could potentially go out of business or are already out of business because of COVID, and how that's a trickle down effect that obviously hurts a lot of people. So yeah, it's interesting. And then Cindy, thank you for watching on your lunch break. We appreciate it, number one. And then she's asking, is there a market out there for tiny homes? And I don't know, are you talking like tiny homes like you see like when you watch the HGTV shows where they have those like 200 to 300 square foot home? Are you talking those tiny homes, Cindy? Or are you talking like just 1,500 and under? Because you could be talking about both. But I don't know any the tiny homes. I love those things, and I'd like to see those shows all the time. They're fun to see people like living in, but I've never seen one in Arizona. In my mind, have you seen one?
My wife and I were going to actually build a tiny home in our back. We weren't going to build it. We talked about it, building a tiny home in our backyard for guests, and. There are builders here in the area that specialize in tiny homes. I don't know if there's communities or subdivisions that are focused primarily on tiny homes, but we were surprised at the number of builders. It was, 5 to 10 builders that were at this show, showcasing their tiny homes.
Well, did you go to I went to the Shemer Art Center. They had this whole tiny home exhibit. I don't know if you went to that, if that's what you're talking about, but. Is that what you were referring to?
No, we didn't go to that one.
Okay.
We did not go to that one. It was at the.
No worries.
Somewhere else.
Interesting, because I went to that, and I totally forgot that I had gone to that, but then you kind of got my memory going on that, and it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There are several companies who are out there doing. It didn't seem like. It hasn't seemed like it's taken off yet on our end from the area, and I think similar to what you talked about, like we've got a big enough yard to rather than expand the house, like maybe put one of those back in there and kind of have like a little office set up, because it seemed like it would be a cheaper way to go. We hear on Amazon you can have one shipped to your house and have them build it. I've never had anybody do that either. You just read it on the news, so it's interesting. I know, if we ever find out enough about it, I'd probably do a video on it, because I think a lot of people are interested in it. Whether, Cindy, like kind of what you're saying, if you're trying to find an affordable way to come out here and kind of get started, and you're like, hey, I don't need anything crazy, I just want to be out in Arizona. And then same with people who are just like looking to add some square footage into their yard. So yeah, we'll kind of peek a little bit more into it and see what we can find.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
Vince, pop it in. Say hi. Check out the videos. Thanks for all the updates. I'm wondering about the rental market. I'll be moving in January or February. Yeah, good question, Vince. And the rental market is just as hot as the housing market. It's the inventory is super low. It's pushing pricing up. And so, and I'm sure there's a lot of, I'm finding people are like going to the vacation rental side just to have short-term rental for a little bit of time. And, so it could be a little tricky. We have access to homes on the MLS that could be for rentals, but man, it's so limited right now from what I'm seeing. So, that's where, reach out, see if we can jump on a Zoom call and kind of figure out where you want to be. And I know we can't really do too much as far as, and I don't have too much knowledge on as far as apartments and that type of thing, but we can try to at least guide you the best we can to say, hey, if this is the lifestyle you're looking for, maybe try living in this area, and doing some research on it.
And it also might, Vince, it also might be worth looking into the pros and cons of renting versus buying, simply because, like Greg mentioned, the rental market has heated up and prices have been going up, that you might actually find yourself in an advantageous situation where you could buy something at the same monthly payment or slightly close to it. So
yeah,
it's worth looking into both just to make sure that you've got all your ducks lined up in a row. But most importantly, I would say, start early and just start looking as early as you can, because there's a high probability that if you wait till you're 100% sure when you're going to move and almost at the last minute, you might find yourself in a situation where you're scrambling to find a place to live, and you don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah. No, agreed. So yeah, and again, like, we're here to help on that kind of stuff. Like that's why we have the channel. So don't feel like it's ever a challenge. Just like say, hey, let's try to jump on a call, Zoom call. We're here to help with that. Cindy is asking, can I get a decent 3-bedroom home anywhere in the Phoenix metro area for under $200? And honestly, Cindy, I would probably say no. That price range, and I would probably say, I mean, there might be some stuff in, kind of up north in Anthem in the 200 to 300 range that I've seen, but like anything under 300 right now is so hard to get. And if it's anything nice, it typically has multiple offers pushing the pricing up. So I'm trying to think, like, if you're out all the way out, maybe in like Buckeye, there might be some stuff in Buckeye that would get you that price point. Maybe, if you're going down in like to Pinell County, like into Maricopa or Casa Grande, which is, a half hour, 45 minutes outside the Phoenix metro. So it really depends on, if you're going to have to commute. If you don't have to commute and you're going to be able to work remotely from home, then maybe, living in Maricopa or Casa Grande or in Buckeye isn't a big deal to you. So it really depends on what your situation is.
And Cindy, also, when it comes to on the financial side, which is obviously where I come in, you might be surprised at your monthly payment is probably because property taxes are so low here, and also homeowners insurance is lower. And I'm comparing it to back in Texas when I lived there. It's night and day. So a $200,000 house here, monthly payment is drastically different than a $200,000 house back in Texas by a lot, actually. So you might actually find yourself that you can go up to 250, 300 or whatever, and your monthly payment is actually not as high as you thought. So that's where Greg and I can come in and help you, walk you through the financial aspect of it. And you might be surprised into thinking that, you think you're looking at 200s because of the budget side, but you might actually be able to buy something a little bit more and something that's more desirable to you at a monthly payment that is not as high as you might imagine.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Rudy and Cindy. Yeah, that's probably something that if you're like we had told Vince about, if you're interested in having that conversation off off the live show and kind of discussing the details a little bit more, so we can kind of at least try to guide you a little bit more in the right direction as far as what your goals are, then we can definitely do that for you. But it's again, the market is hot. There's very little inventory. It's pushing pricing up all over, and so it's very competitive out there in all price points. But and we'll see how long it lasts. But we continue to get with everybody moving from different states. Feeling like Arizona is a better spot. Whether I think Cindy, you had mentioned just getting out of like the winter cold, and a lot of people are doing that. There's people who are just wanting to get out of the busier areas, whether that's New York. Obviously, California is a huge one where we draw a lot of people in from California, and I know people give Californians a tough time, and it is what it is. But they're bringing money into the state, and they're bringing a lot of jobs. There's a lot of companies coming in from the state. So, from the political aspect, everybody is gets upset about certain stuff. I was born in California, and I love a lot about California. Obviously, I would much rather live in Arizona than in California, especially right now, because it is a train wreck of what's going on over there. But I'm not gonna start beating people up politically. That's for sure.
Yeah, settle down, man. You're I can see you getting fired up.
Yes.
Let's calm it down a little bit.
It's a stupid year, Rudy. Every time you turn on the TV, you got people yelling at each other and lying. It's a bunch of garbage to me. But
well, that's why I love talking to you, because you kind of get all that noise out of here, and we have nice conversations, and you just make me happy. So I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I know.
And Cindy, Cindy,
Go ahead.
that was the time to visit too. If you're thinking about just exploring the weather here, give it another couple more weeks, and it's going to be beautiful. So if you've got a visit to Arizona on your itinerary sometime soon, I encourage you to book it and try it out here soon, because it's going to be nice.
Yeah, city. So you're planning on renting for a year and then buy once you get a feel for the area, which I totally understand that point of view. It's because nobody has a crystal ball, and we don't know for sure how long this seller's market's going to last. There is a possibility you could come in and then something happens over the next year that kind of allows for a little bit more purchasing power or opportunity. So, or you get to know really where you like and where you don't like. Because I know a lot of people they come in and they purchase just based on the house and not based on the location. And then they find out they don't really like the location that much. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, now we got to sell our house and move to where we really want to live after that. So totally understand that logic as well. But just understand that the rental market is very tricky too. So it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, to just be prepared for that and just know that you can do it, you can make it happen. But it will have a few little challenges, I'm sure.
Well, I just read too. Phoenix is one of the hottest, no pun intended, but real estate markets in the country, and in across the nation, the market has appreciated. Prices have gone up about 6.5% versus this time last year. So if you're sitting on the fence and waiting to buy a house, you're going to pay about 6.5% more this year than you would have last year. Now, of course, everyone's situation is different, so you got to buy when the time is right. But just keep that in mind, that if we continue, it's getting more and more expensive to purchase a home, unfortunately. But luckily, rates are still low enough where that can offset some of the price increases. And another thing too, to your point, Greg, that you mentioned about we don't know what's going to happen, the crystal ball. One thing to keep in mind too on the mortgage side is a lot of stuff can affect mortgage rates. It's not just, here's your rate, have a nice day, call me when you're ready to buy a house. There's a lot of stuff that can affect interest rates on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. And a perfect example was September. Mortgage rates were pretty flat. There really wasn't much movement going into October. Yeah. And then the first week of October has seen a lot of volatility on the mortgage side. Now, you're really not going to hear about it on the news because it's kind of boring stuff to hear. But, when our president got COVID, that affected the market. When he made an announcement on Monday that he was going to halt negotiations on stimulus packages, that affected the market and rates. And then the debate, the vice presidential debate last night, didn't really have much of an effect on rates. But my point is,
melted a few people's brains, I'm sure, though.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't watch that one either.
Well, my point is that there's a lot of factors that sometimes we don't think about if you're not watching it on a daily basis like I do, that can affect rates. So just keep that in mind. I kind of went off on a tangent there.
No, but it's helpful. Like, I think again, the goal is to provide content that like is helpful to everybody who's watching. I think all of that is extremely helpful to know. So when you have that inside information, I think it's because when people call in and they're like, hey, I've heard stories, or they're getting all these mailers. I don't know how many stupid mailers we get from mortgage lenders that are all over the country, like, hey, you could have rates as low as like 1.5%. It's like, so everybody sees all this stuff and they don't really know what's going on and what's moving and what's accurate or not. So I think it's helpful for people to know that. And then Cindy said, yeah, you'll have to make it happen. Your 11-year-old daughter is super excited to move to Arizona. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Tell her we said hello, and can't wait for you guys to make the trip over and start enjoying the warmer weather, if not really hot weather. But hey, the good news is, Rudy, and I complain about this all the time, and now I've got some good news on the weather. If the first time I could go to my phone, I don't know if you got probably. Yeah, that's a horrible way. But there are no triple digits in the forecast over the next 10 days. And maybe we're done with triple digits going forward for the rest of the year. I probably just jinxed it. We'll probably have a hot spell next week, and it'll probably jump back up, and I'll look like an idiot. But, that's not the first time I've looked like an idiot.
Well, this will be the first time that I also, like you, don't see triple digits on my phone, which I've gotten so used to triple digits that it's sad. When I moved here, I was not used to triple digits. Now it's just an everyday occurrence, and not seeing them is actually a breath of fresh air, and I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
No, it was so awesome to get up to Flag last week and cool off there. I think we're going to try to make another trip. And this kind of cycling back, a couple things on here. Number one, we try to do like a little blog, my wife and I, with our daughter and the two dogs. Actually, we try to shoot some stuff of us kind of cruising around Flag and I looking at houses. So I've never tried to do that before. Like obviously we're learning on how to do this stuff on the fly, but we're going to try to put something together for you guys on that. Because similar to what if you guys are watching and thinking about buying out here, we're kind of in the same mindset of like potentially trying to get a second place up in Flag to get out of the heat, since we can work remotely. And that we're in the same boat for everybody who's like, hey, should I buy now? Should I wait? Like, what's the best time to buy? Like, we're kind of going through that same struggle as well. But I continue to think that because there's so many people who are moving here and the inventory is low, and again, the buyers seem to be solid, my gut is that it's probably good to try to get something done sooner rather than later. But I don't know. I think about it all the time, and even as an agent, I think like everybody else does. I think about back in the 2008, 2009, 10 times, and it's like, okay, it's not going to be that. We know it's not going to be that, but is it going to be something similar that's different? I mean, obviously this year has been crazy, so who knows? But we'll keep you guys posted on that too.
Yeah, it'll be hard to imagine it ever being like that because of all the regulations around mortgages. So that probability is highly unlikely. But I wouldn't be surprised if we just see not so much of this trend in prices, but more of this, and it just kind of
starts to level out a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. We all wish we had that information, but I'll just if I buy too soon, I'll just have Rudy rent it out from me and cover my mortgage payment.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to do that. Let me know when.
All right. We'll try. We got to try to figure out where to be. It was awesome. We'll have to jump on and talk about places up there that you like, and It's a good time. So I'm trying to think. Anything else, Rudy, that you'd like to share with the audience before we jump off today?
Just as I always say, just please use us as a resource. Greg and I love what we do, and we love helping you out. And more importantly, we love meeting you and getting a chance to become friends with you. And thank you all for watching our videos, for putting up with some of our lame jokes sometimes, but we really appreciate you.
It's probably you're referencing me, I think, Rudy, which is because yeah, I don't know. That's all right. My jokes are kind of lame sometimes, so that's all right. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it. Again, thank you to everybody out there watching. Thank you to Cindy and Vince for jumping on and asking a few questions. We appreciate you guys for doing that. Definitely reach out, ask, or put any comments in the videos, however we can help you guys. And hopefully we'll catch you. We'll catch you on a few calls, and we will see you guys next week live on the next video. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.